Okay, so this is a follow-up on what I was talking about in terms of the mystery and the possible differences within the final solves. Now notice when I started talking about this at the very beginning of the last video, as I was describing it, I was showing a situation where most of the corners were roadblocked, and I was going like this, but one of the centers were not. In other words, this was turned around, or I guess you could say, see if we have one here. Well, in any case, this is facing one direction. This was all facing the same direction. So you notice that I was able to turn one center or one middle row all the way around, and I was actually able to scramble it that way. And yet with this solve, I can't do that. None of these are actually in a position where they can rotate. In other words, every side is roadblocked. All I can move are top and bottom layers, but I can't move any middle layers. But that's not how I started the video last time. I started the video with one middle layer that can turn. So what's unique about this puzzle is that you'd think that in a solved state of a puzzle, there's only one solved state to have. It's actually not completely correct, because with the Rubik's Cube, these can be oriented different ways. This can be rotated. Unless it's a super cube, then there's one type of orientation. But you wouldn't know it if you looked at it. In this particular puzzle, you can notice it. You can see that there's two potentially perfectly acceptable ways of solving this. The only difference is that they're not exactly equivalent. It looks the same with each side individually, but the overall puzzle is not the same. And this is the first puzzle that I've done where there's two, maybe three or four, I guess what appears to be acceptable solve states, and yet they don't behave exactly the same, which is kind of strange. So the question is this: to have a roadblock puzzle, does everything have to be roadblocked when it's solved? Or are you supposed to have one middle layer that's not solved? Well, I think what I would say is that because this is a roadblock 1, what you're probably looking for is this as the final configuration, where you're going to have every center that's blocked as opposed to one that moves. So if you should happen to get a solution where that's not the case, we can easily bring it to what I would call the, quote, correct solution. So here's what I mean by that. Let's take it to the configuration that I'm talking about. Notice these are roadblocked on this side, but this middle is not. This is not roadblocked. Now this looks like a perfectly good solve, right? Looks like it's no difference. But let's be kind of a truist about it, I suppose, and say, well, it's supposed to be a roadblock 1 puzzle. So we don't want it to be like that. What we actually want to do is we want to rotate one of these to where even this is roadblocked in addition to everything else. So the way that you do that, and it's real easy, is I just want this to rotate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this center down here, and now I'm going to reorganize it to where this is rotated by 90 degrees. So I'm just going to turn this by 1, rotate this by 90 degrees, move this back so that it's lined up different, and move it back up. And then what I do is I did a kind of a partial rescramble and just put it back in and solve it accordingly. Now because this is 3x3 solves and it's pretty fast, pretty quick, pretty easy, it really isn't a big problem putting it back in to get it in the configuration that you want. Now during your solve, here's our L, during your solve you could have prevented that from happening, and in my first solve I was kind of doing that behind the scenes, a little covertly. Anyway, we want to put these guys in here. So there that is, move this here. So we've got our cross, and same kind of thing. No, not yet. Good. So now when we put this back in, when we do our final solve this time, we're going to pretty easily get it back to the roadblock state. Which was where we left things last time. So now what we did is we very effectively moved ourselves into a completely blocked state on all sides. So that, I would say, maybe more the correct configuration with that. But I don't think it really matters. So to those who got it, congratulations. To everyone else, thanks for watching.